Awesome. All right. Adrian there. All right, so we are recording, so I can send this on to anybody else that sees us later on. But thanks for your introduction, Jono. So Jono is my number 2 co-signer, and Tristan is the number 3 co-signer there. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday to Tris. Sorry he wasn't able to join us today. He's busy as with his peak finance. So he's building our algorithmic stablecoins. That's very interesting, but I'll let him talk about that. So what we'll do here is we'll do a quick, I'll set the expectations. So we'll do a quick introduction on Satoshi Island. From there, we'll do a bit of an overview of how the SICFund ties into Satoshi Island. We'll talk about the bigger future, some of our ideas and plans of what we can, go on from here. This isn't just, a quick wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. We can potentially build on this to do, something grand. From there, we can open it up into a free chat. Any questions anybody, thinks of or comes up with, let's open it up. What I would ask though is if everybody, while someone else is talking, if you could just press the green button there that can mute or unmute you, just so we're nice and quiet and there's no background noises that pop up. Just remember, if you wanted to speak, that you have to unmute yourself. So we'll discuss that more at the end at the open free chat. So what we'll do is have a bit of a chat about Satoshi Island. So I'm sure you all might be relatively aware of Satoshi Island. Let's see how this is going to share my screen. Yeah, I don't think it likes sharing my screen very well. So can someone let me know if they can hear me? Sorry, they can see my screen? Can you see this Satoshi Island screen there or not?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, all right, sweet. Sorry, just got to get used to this new infrastructure. So, all right, Satoshi Island, we'll do a quick overview before we move into how our SICFund ties into here. So the Satoshi Island is located in northern Vanuatu. So in northern Vanuatu, the area of, or the region of Santo. So Santo is a free trade zone that's located in a free trade zone located in a tax haven. So we can see it's not quite, it's if we're talking about tax havens in, the area of, Australasia, they're few and far between. And then so we look around the world and there's quite a few tax havens throughout, the Caribbean, throughout some jurisdictions, throughout, Europe, they're tied to UK and such. But for this area, for the Pacific and, for all the capital flight that, is looking to, fly from areas such as Hong Kong and China, properties are getting insanely expensive in Japan, Australia and Sydney, properties are getting insane. So it starts to look more attractive when, especially when our government does, crazy stuff like tells, us to lock down and we're paying top dollar for, tax to live here. So when some places, that are, local to us start to offer these, capital gains or tax advantage structures. So if you want to cash out some capital gains that you've made in crypto, it can look very attractive for you. So, so that was one of my big interests in looking into Satoshi Island was, how we can, build a tax advantage strategy, working in crypto full time and, not have to, work and earn in fiat and pay high taxes in fiat. So to work out a tax advantage strategy is one of the big ways that's going to bring a lot of people to this island nation. So why Satoshi Island is going to attract crypto people is so. Before I get onto that, let me just say that this project is 5 years in the making. So they have permission from the Prime Minister of Vanuatu, also the Treasury Department of Vanuatu. There was recently a whole process where they went through the Supreme Court because someone within a lower down made a claim that wasn't true within the Treasury Department, and that was made to be rebuked, and then they've moved on from there. And the Prime Minister has come out since in full support, as has some of the lords of Tonga. So Tonga are also watching very closely because they, Tonga receives it's almost like 80% of their GDP is coming in from foreign, remittances. So they pay, the Tongan people pay a lot of money in fees to Western Union for remittances and all this sort of stuff. So they're really looking to tokenize and cryptotize their economy. So they're watching things like Satoshi Island very closely and what Vanuatu are doing. And all of these smaller nations will be watching. I'm watching this and thinking how this can be, essentially the new trend of, building micronations or, microstates, the birth of microstates. This is almost trending towards. So it's really interesting where it's going. So the whole island is being tokenized. They have permission from the government to tokenize and fractionalize the whole island. So there will be 2,100 land plots that govern this island, or that this island is made up of, and there'll still be plenty of natural space left on the island. So 2,100 land plots, and each land plot is broken down into 10 NFTs. So if you own all 10 NFTs, you own the full land plot and you can govern it by yourself. If you own 2 NFTs of the full pool, you own 20% and you'll have to govern with a bunch of other people. So if you're investing in the island and you want to develop, ASAP, it should be your goal to get a a full island plot. So, and we can talk about a little bit more about that, the risks after, or, the benefits of doing a syndicate. So not only will the land be tokenized into 21,000 NFTs, but the island building modules that you go on and you can within the metaverse. So the whole island is being scanned out, and you can go in through their customization tools in app and order what modules you might like. There's a whole a bunch of different sizes and different customizations, and then from this in app you can customize and build your ideal module arrangement, or stack them on your land, or join lands and build something a bit more grand, or you have the freedom to do as you wish. So the island, the island land plots are going to be tokenized, the buildings will be tokenized, and then the citizenships to be tokenized. So the citizenships will grant you access, like membership to an exclusive club, like an exclusive golf club or something like this, or a country club where you get rights to build on your land, but you also get access rights to be able to come and visit the exclusive club. They are looking to offer short-term stay citizenships if the 21,000 citizenships become become too scarce and it becomes very hard for people to visit or stay at the island. They're going to look at issuing short-term citizenships. So that was some new news that we've just sort of heard, just to bring more utility and some more exclusiveness about the island. So you will need a citizenship to get there, but they're also looking at offering short-term stay citizenships as well, unless you're looking to live on the island for a long term. But after the airdrop, there's going to be a lot of people that just got their citizenship for free, and they'll probably dump it for a few $100, a few points for ETH. So there might be an opportunity there to look into getting additional citizenships, or for the flip. But we won't go there. So another big thing that's going to bring people to this island, as we can see in the center here, is this conference hub for crypto events. So, to match Dubai, to match places like Miami, these big crypto conference hubs of the world, Satoshi Island is set every 2 weeks to launch events and to launch crypto conferences and these sorts of things, to bring international investors in the international community of projects to here. So what a better place than a tokenized island to throw these world-class conferences, and there'll be other facilities on around the island as well. So there's beautiful reefs for diving and all of these sorts of things. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity to set up a lot of different island ventures, as there's predicted to be a lot of tourism, a lot of novelty, to the island. We see things like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, owners starting franchises like burger chains, or, just creative, cool stuff like this. So, you can almost picture Satoshi Island to be like that crypto Disneyland, that novelty, that experience where you just, you come there for a bit of a holiday because you're a bit of, you love the crypto, and, you bring your family, and and it can just be a really cool novelty place. So, that's the possibilities are endless. It's up to, imagination, what can be done, what you can do, and what, anyone can come and build. So, let's see, how the trend takes off, and, if we can build our citadel. It all sounds, nice on paper, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves before we get too big on the pie in the sky. But satellite offices are going to be, one of the main sort of staples. So, as a tax haven, we'll see a lot of businesses and a lot of, crypto or digital native businesses who earn their income, in the metaverse and internationally, will set up their satellite offices and hubs in Vanuatu, in places like Satoshi Island, to be able to get that tax advantage strategy. Tourism. We've got a hub for crypto events, satellite offices for the tax advantage strategies. There's a lot of things intertwining here that that can boost eyeballs, that can boost the amount of people coming to the island. So what I wanted to move into now is the risks that we've deemed of going it alone. So as we mentioned that, if you buy 2 NFTs and you have to share, 20% of your block with, maybe 3, 4, 5 other people that own 1, 2, 3 NFTs each in that block, some people, they might not have the capital to, invest the additional, $30,000, $50,000, $40,000 per head, whatever it may be, or to come up with these grand plans, or to build it, or they might not come to consensus and agreement on exactly what to build. So you might get stuck with fussy or bad neighbors. So, our thinking is, if you want to develop, ASAP, let's get, fully full, as many full blocks as we can, so we don't have to worry about, outside governance, and we can do the governance within to ensure that, we don't hit into any roadblocks as such. So that's one of the, the risks of going it alone. And also, as the sales will be randomly distributed. So in the first phase, there's 560 plots or so that's being distributed in South Wing. That's here. That's closest to this main beach side. So there'll be an artificial beach strip. And then from there, you'll have access to the ocean. So this first stage is being sold, South Wing. This is the first stage, and this is where we're going to jump on and get as many island plots as we can, but they will be distributed randomly. So we were hoping to go in and buy up a whole bunch of connected plots. That would be ideal, but that's going to be impossible through them integrating Chainlink VRF. So all lands will be distributed randomly. There will be no ability to get connected plots until you move into secondary markets, and that's going to create a whole new demand, a whole bunch of demand in secondary markets for whales just to come in and say, hey, I want 10 plots along Beach Strip, along Ocean Drive, or there's going to be some really nice strips, a lookout along here that I think will be really nice as well. That will probably go for a really nice premium. But anything with a view, anything that's beachfront or ocean front, you can essentially expect, or close, as it will probably get more expensive as you get closer to the ocean. So the free market will determine how properties are valued, and it's a really interesting dynamic that we'll see play out, how the free market determines island valuations. And the beauty about OpenSea and these marketplaces is we can see the next door neighbor, how much land he sold for yesterday, $360K for that plot that had 1 module on it, or this guy over here had a full grand complex that he sold for $1 million. So we can see all of that and how they all trade. And that's the beauty of of these decentralized exchanges, NFT exchanges like OpenSea, and now the cool ability to build a fund like we're doing on top of a tokenized standard using NFTs and OpenSea exchanges. But that's getting more into down the track. So going alone, so it's better to buy in bulk. It's better to get 13 properties than it is to get, one NFT in one property or one full property. As lands are going to be distributed randomly, we can essentially pool funds and increase everybody's profits by, buying in bulk and, representing your portion of the pie as a share over the total asset pie. So, instead of having just, ownership over, when your value represented over, ownership of one land, your value will be represented over a portion of lands. And there's better chances, therefore, to, mint something rare or something that's close to the ocean and have a share in that and, across the other 12 or so. So, increases profits and it decreases risk by doing fractionalization and fractionalizing, the access and lowering the barrier. You don't have to go and put up the $100,000 to buy that full plot, to ensure you can, develop it. We can go ahead and, you can pool with people. You can, our top allocation is 4.5 ETH. So, it's not, it's a lower barrier to entry, and it's essentially, a way for, us plebs that aren't, these rich whales to make it. There's a lot of projects that we all going to make it that, don't have fair tokenomics. They don't do fair raises. You've got insiders and private sales that are scooping up for discounts and all of these sorts of things. So, this is, I've been thinking different ways to do good tokenomics. And so by, going with, a syndicate that's a fair raise, and, sharing and, fractionalizing across a pool of assets is a way to, decrease your risk and exposure. You don't have to put up all of that money to buy the lands and then all of that extra to develop it. There's also the knowledge and the time gap as well. Some people might not have the time. They might not have, the expertise on, the tokenization of assets and how NFTs work in marketplaces and all of these sorts of things. So it's a cool way and a cool way to expedite, the learning curve by, coming together as a co-op. And moving together in as in unity into a united goal, and that goal is let's get some island developed, so island properties developed, and let's build our citadel. So that's the goal. And a lot of people might just come into this just wanting to buy land for a bit of capital gains and flip the land. And I say, I don't want to get stuck with them people. I want to get stuck with builders that want to do cool stuff and want to build something. For the team itself, they're not really interested in people that just want to come and buy land to sit on land. They want people that want to come and develop the land to something and build something and, attract tourists and have properties there to lease to people, to people that can come to the island. So, it all starts with, people, coming in and funds like us that coming in to build. So, that's Satoshi Island. I've been in chats with them and, they're happy with what we are. So a team member of Satoshi Island I can speak for he likes the idea and is happy what we're doing. If we keep up a good job, we can potentially work closely with these guys throughout multiple other stages of island development, and island releases. This is a multi-year play. This isn't just a next coming up on Saturday, a race for this one portion. This is a portion to get, the base sorted, and then we can move on. So, so now I want to talk about a bit more. I sort of tied in a few of the concepts there, but we'll talk a little bit more about now how SICFund ties into, the islands. The power of syndication. By coming together and and pooling funds, we talked a bit about the benefits of fractionalizing the risks down. So there's a few risks that come with going to the island. So maybe There is, there's problems around infrastructure, around, the energy grids not being up to scratch or something like this. So, I've done a good look into James Law, and, his concepts have been, used around the world through different things. But, I have faith in the architecture's firm, and the concepts there to come to fruition, but you can never be too sure. So by diversifying the risk, and, lowering the barriers to entry and ensuring that, you don't have to fork up that huge amount to get, some upside exposure and build and share in something, grand, or bigger than ourselves. Essentially, that's, what's going on here. We're building, potentially the start of a massive new trend into the tokenization, the fractionalization of nations, the building of new microstates and new micronations, and, new ways to govern societies, and, fairer, models. So that's potentially what this is, and very, very exciting, and something we've talked a lot about the last few years about citadels and Bitcoin citadels, and I'm just so glad there's finally something here that is onto it. So lowers the barriers to entry, decreases the risk, increases everybody's odds of success. So you pool in an asset pool instead of a single land, so it will increase your profits. You go with a big brain community. There's a whole bunch of members of the community that have specialties in different areas, whether that be coding, whether that be videography, or creating cool images and all these sorts of things. We have people that are property developers. So by pooling everybody's brains that know all of these sorts of things, like me, Jono, and Tris, we don't know everything. There's going to be a whole lot of things here, as an experimentation, on how to do this. There's going to be a lot of experimentation, and we'll have to open to ideas to the community, through a lot of things that we go through. But we'll always look to do the best by the community, and for everybody, and for you guys. But this will be a learning curve on how to do this. DAOs. This is so to speak, it's not quite the full, decentralized autonomous. It is about as much as we can go until, we start potentially, risking getting people's assets locked in smart contracts and consensus issues. We need to develop this fast, not, ASAP. That's my mindset. Let's get in there. Let's build something fast. If we, go true decentralized autonomous organization in the early phases, and we have to spend a week deciding where to place a garden or a plant, or which couch to buy to furnish which property. So we have to be careful about giving the going full DAO, the decentralized autonomous organization route, too fast. I mean, that's always a goal for, any, tokenized business. But so you really want to ensure you've got really robust consensus mechanisms in place. And for important, all of these decisions that, that are relevant, that, I think that the community should, have a voice on. These are your assets too. These aren't, mine, or, the cosigner or the foundations. We're just the custodians of you guys, and, this is your plan as well as, as ours. We're just, the bus drivers, you guys are, in the back, loaded up in the bus with us, at the, at the front driving, and, tell us where to go, as a group. Let's plan, a sick trip. And let's drive there together. So it's a big bus, and we're just cruising along on it together. So this increases your odds, to be able to get success from this project, by not getting too overexposed, and by potentially something catastrophic happening, like a slowdown in the economy, or slowdown in shipping, and all of these sorts of things. Diversifying the risk and fractionalization is a good way to lower the barriers to entry, and ensure that we don't get wrecked in the worst case scenario. So bigger future. We've also I've tied into a few bigger future ideas and a few bigger concepts. So new island stages. We've I've talked a little bit about that. Maybe I should also mention, before I go on to that, I should talk on the SICFund a little bit about the membership tiers. So, the pricing starts at 0.15 ETH for one share, and that's for someone that just wants a bit of exposure to the fund, that wants to say, hey, they have exposure to and own a part of an island citadel in a tax haven, so it's pretty cool. So that's that's the lowest barrier to entry for someone, just to get a little exposure. And then for someone that is a little bit more, keen on it, that wants a voice in, wants to keep up with it a little bit more, and access to, to the voting channels and to the governance channels, then, the package here is 0.3 ETH for the lowest tier voting package. So by having, that 2 votes, we want to ensure everyone gets a voice. We just want to cut out a little bit of the noise to ensure that, so that premium group as well has that premium sort of feel about it. And yeah, we cut out a little bit of the outside noise. So then you've got the 5 SICFund NFT membership tier, or 5 SIC shares, SIC NFTs. The NFTs are simply shares in a fund. So we can talk about more about using the ERC 1155 standards as NFTs, but let's not get sidetracked. So 3 times governance voting power for someone that's a little bit more serious at 0.75 ETH. And you maintain them in your wallet, you'll maintain access to the Discord and voting channels. So 15 SIC NFTs or 15 shares gets you 6 times governance power. It also gets you short discounts on short stays when you want to come over and visit the island and bring your family over and stay. We'll work out some discounts there to offer you guys for our 15 tier members. And then the premium tier over here, there's the 30 NFTs or 30 shares. That gives you the 10 times voting power. And the voting power is scaled in a way to give everyone a voice, but to not give the billionaires or the whales, we'll call the 4.5 ETH the whales in this. Not to give them an outsized voice, just as the real world, 1 billionaire generally gets 1 vote in a democratic society. But I also like the idea of like a meritocracy, where those with the most merit or the most that have the most alignment to the fund have a little bit more of a say, but not an outsized stay to steamroll everyone. So we are a fractionalized fund aimed at, bringing in the plebs and giving the plebs a voice, or, the normies that don't, have the 100 ETH to go and buy their own, grand plan. So, we're lowering the barriers to entry. And so I think a good way to, help lower the barriers to entry is build something, that represents the voice of, that can represent the voice of everyone without giving too much of a, an overpower to some. So that's there. The main reason why you would buy the premium 30 NFT package is because you'll actually get opportunities when we do any liquidation events. When if the fund ever decides we should sell 10% of the assets and pay them out to holders. The liquidation events or the assets will first be sold to any power backer. So anyone that is a power backer that is backs us at the start and helps us get off the ground, you guys will be looked at and taken care of first in the ability to buy out any assets from the fund that we sell. You will get the access to these buyouts at a 10% discount. So this is great, and this is a little way of you'll have access to a private Discord group, and this will allow us to coordinate your discounts on stays and discounts on island services, but it will allow us to coordinate any buyout events where you can buy assets out straight from the funds at that 10% discount. And by not going through OpenSea or through other marketplaces, we can negate the sales taxes of OpenSea, and we can negate the royalties that are payable via to Satoshi Island. So they'll probably be like 7.5%, I would assume. So that's 10%. So we can pass those savings on to our power backers as a way to create additional value to power backers that potentially want to buy out developed assets or land plots that we sell. at a discount. You can flip them or you can develop them yourself. We will offer you any services that we go on to create. If you're buying out from the fund to potentially move or to share, you might like to live there 3 months of the year and someone else lives there 3 months of the year, and you'll live somewhere else 3 months of the year and over there 3 months of the year. So there's a whole bunch of different arrangements that you can organize. But yeah, Powerbackers will have the opportunity. They'll also mint the special limited edition Powerbacker NFT. So this will follow you along in your wallet. The Powerbacker NFT. There you go. Thanks, Jot Bear, for helping us with that one. So there's a quick little glance there at the Powerbacker NFT. And that music just makes me think of Mario Kart cruising around on the tropical island. It's awesome. But yeah, so the Powerbacker NFT, you'll hold that and maintain that in your wallet with the 30 shares. And that's a way for us to, know that, you are the backer of Power, that you were there in the early days and your dedication to the cause. And we'll look to reward you as our operation expands. We'll look to reward you in a bunch of different ways, however we can add value, essentially without, coming at the expense of other people. So a whole bunch of different things we can do. We'll try, to add value to, where we can without, dipping into, everybody else as such. But there'll be a bunch of different things that we can do, exclusive parties, exclusive, events for Powerbackers, the discounts we can do. It's endless what we can do. So Powerbackers 4.5 ETH, and you can mint however many you want as well. And we'll also have a raise counter here. So this is tied to the back end, and it's counting how much ETH is coming to the back end, so we can share it on as the day goes on after 10 a.m. on Saturday, and watch the wallet fill up. From there, that 300 ETH that we raised, we're going to use 285 ETH of that to go in and buy land. Land's expected to be 22 to 23 ETH, so we can potentially get 12 to 12.9, 13 properties. If it's 12.9, we'll figure out a way to round it up to 13. We'll dip into the fund treasury. So 285 ETH will go to that, and that means the other 15 ETH goes to seed the fund treasury, and that can be used to purchase island assets. It can be used for furnishing. It can be used for property maintenance. It can be used for little costs to ensure that we're able to get leasable properties. And there's just a kitty there for for any expenses that we need to. There's going to be unforeseen things and foreseen things coming along the way. So there's that. After we buy our properties, we've got a bunch of options. We can, so we go in, buy properties, we can sell half, we can keep all of our properties and do a second round raise. We can chat with the community, and we might have a better idea, how much demand our fund has, or this idea has after we do our sale on Saturday. See how we go. We'll see what sort of demand there is for this sort of idea of fractionalized fund buying into, island land in a citadel, a tokenized citadel and a tax haven. It's going to be the new, so it sounds, let's see how it goes. So bigger future ideas, new island stages, island services. Look, this isn't the first cooperative or fractional fund that we've done. A couple of others, and what's better than one fractionalized blue chip funds than 10 fractionalized blue chip funds. So essentially, we can build a hub of syndicates or a hub of co-ops or cooperatives, and a hub and spoke model where we can potentially curate and find. And you can't rush this. You can't rush the finding of blue chips. You could spend 2 years and probably not find 10 good ones. So you need to take your time, and potentially. What we can do is, to increase liquidity and exposure, and to be able to, interchange from, shares from different co-ops. Say if, you wanted some CloneX shares, or, that represent the CloneX pool, or, Bored Ape Yacht Club land shares, or, some. So, there's some potentially big ideas that we can do in building an exchange that can allow for the swapping of, of these shares and these blue chip NFT pools. So that's all down the track. And that's just some big future ideas, or some ideas that we had to sort of explore. So from here, I think that's all I wanted to say, and I'll stop rambling. And I think I will stop sharing my screen. Let me extend it back over to you, the community. Let's open it up for an open discussion. Is there anybody have any questions? Anybody have anything on that? I'd invite you to press the little green button, unmute yourself, and let's open it up, free for all. Welcome, everyone. So, anyone going to unmute themselves?
I do have a couple of questions from that have been put into the chat. If no one wants to speak, I'm more than happy to present those to you.
Sounds good.
All right, we've got the first ones from Dave. He wants to know how the land is going to regenerate and be managed post-development. In regards to water, waste, and etc. And he's interested in that from the environmental perspective.
Yep. Yeah, as a sustainable development hub, the team and the architecture team are putting in a lot of work into, thinking about the environmental protections. So, they're talking. There's limestone. So there's a bunch of different, and they're actually pioneering in some different ways. And I haven't gone in depth in, the sewerage or the waste treatment, but there's some sort of limestone treatment solution, which they're using to be able to treat the wastewater and the sewerage. This will be. We're still in the early stages of buying the lands. As the more of the core infrastructure plans around this are going to be, unlocked into the next stage once the island land has, been developed. But the core principle of this, is a sustainable development. 70% or so of the island is going to remain, undeveloped. So there's going to be plenty of trees, plenty of nature that's left on the island. And what's more, the team have spent a lot of money to, try and educate the locals in, in sustainable hunting and sustainable, farming and fishing practices. A lot of the coconut crabs were being wiped out to decimation. So, now they're helping, provide education to the local islanders about, not going and just picking up all the baby and eating all the baby coconut crabs, or or killing them and only going for the adults. So different sustainable practices. So the team are conscious about sustainability practices. They're not going to go away, dump waste water, into the ocean without, proper treatments. And, there's not going to be, smelly crap piling up, around. So, I hope that answers the question. Yeah.
I can actually give you a little bit more information on that. That actual number is 80%.
80%. Okay.
80%. So yep, 80%. That was confirmed in the last probably 48 hours. So
okay, awesome. Thank you for that, Jono. So so as a sustainable development, I would like a bunch of trees that are left on my land to build around, and that's so we can talk about that. But sustainable development is at the mind. James Law Architecture, that's building sustainable developments is in his architectural firm's grand plan and grand view: sustainable, faster, cheaper. So I would refer you to go and have a look at James Law Cybertexture. He's got a really great LinkedIn page, and you can go back. There's years he's been, providing these modules, and an ability to customize these modules into different arrangements. Been throughout the world. He's got a whole projects in Hong Kong and Dubai, so he's been experimenting with them. But I won't bung on too much. Is there another question there, Jono?
Yeah, we do. We've still got a few to go. Next one's from Glenn. He wants to know who's going to be similar. It's similar to Dave's question. He wants to know who's going to be responsible for the infrastructure, your roads, water, energy, waste management services, which are normally provided by the council.
Yep, yep. So yeah, the local, Satoshi Island Ltd will provide infrastructure, and they will know what sort of a budget they have to plan to. So first stage is how much island land. So there's no point, planning out this multi, $1 million, $20 million infrastructure package if they can't sell out or sell 20 land plots. So these grand plans. The team are going to sell out. Hopefully, I think they will. I think it's getting a lot of media attention. It's getting a lot of eyes. The team sells out. They'll have the kitty there to develop this Grand Island plan. So the LTD, the company, the Satoshi Island is in charge of doing roads, doing the port. So they're going to upgrade the local port there to be able to bring in the containers or the modules. So the modules or the local port in Santo. So Santo is the larger island and the larger region, and the local port there, which is about 25 minutes away, has just seen multi-million-dollar investment to see large expansion for deeper or larger ships. So deep water port expansion. So to bring in larger container ships, it can essentially cruise ships as well. Am I going here or have I dropped out? So.
All good, boss.
All right, sweet. I've just frozen on my thing. So yeah, the large deep water port expansion to bring in container ships. Cruise ships can essentially come to Sandow and visit now. And they're building an industrial hub there, right next to the port facilities, or they're looking to, and as a tax haven, they're looking to attract a lot of industrial businesses and a lot of different businesses to the island.
He definitely dropped out at that time. He'll be back. I can give some information on your next question, Dave, which was how far away are the other pods being built, and are they using island labour? So he did briefly touch on that. They are being built over in China. They aren't using island labour as such. However, I do know that our Satoshi Island Holdings will be employing some of the locals to obviously help them in regards to getting the infrastructure set up, and as well as giving them maintenance work. And they will be using some of the locals for that, definitely. But they will be built over in Hong Kong and shipped over. So hey, welcome back, boss. We just need you to get your speaker going again. We can't hear you.
Sorry, guys. It was doing this last night too. Every so often, it just drops out there. Strange, it shuts down my applications. But yeah, so we were talking about deep water port facilities. The industrial hub, there's a local industrial hub that's being built out. So essentially, large amounts of modules will be able to get shipped to the larger port that's about 25 minutes away, and then they'll be able to get distributed around about the 25-minute trip around to the island and offloaded onto the island there. So roads, they're talking about getting some Teslas, a couple of Teslas to charge off, the electric island grid, that it's going to be sustainable, as this is a sustainable development. So it makes sense to buy Teslas. And there's going to be roads, and there'll be a little, Tesla taxi service that can take you from, different sections of the island. So that was on talks. It's about, so look, there's going to be a lot of things here where the community can vote. There's going to be a vote for the community, just like our cooperative. And there's a lot of things, processes that we haven't worked out and what's best for the community. There's going to be a lot of things that, Satoshi Island don't know what's best for the community yet. And they're going to ask us, what do we think? What do we want? What's going to be best? And we'll get to vote, and we'll get to, voice our opinion on these sorts of things. So there's the grand idea and the grand vision. There's, and then there's the intricate details on the way of how to get there. And, we're still at such early grand stages yet. We need to, the team needs to know the demands. What sort of, demands are they looking at for their island lands? Are they going to sell out? If they can sell out this first stage island land, then, they know the demand is all systems go, and, from there. And then the real big grand planning and infrastructure planning can begin, because they know if they can sell out the first phase, like, in the first 500 plots like that, and there's only 1,600 plots or so, 1,550 or so left, is seen like a proof of concept. So once the proof of concept's done, then we can expect bigger things from other island phases. So water. I just want to touch on the water. So there's plenty of rainfall on, for Vanuatu. So the amount of rainfall has been sustaining tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people for tens of thousands of years, and there's going to be rain catchments and water storage on the islands, and water is not going to be an issue in this area. Plenty of rain, plenty of fresh water to be found there. So any more questions?
Yeah, mate, I've got quite a few, at least 5 or 6 left to go. Did someone want to speak then today, or?
I don't believe so. Fire the question.
Nope. Okay, that's just me hearing things. All right, so the next question's from Pump. Pump wants to know how we're planning to buy more than 3 blocks of land when each wallet can only buy one at a time.
Because I will be, I've been having a chat, and as a developer or a property developer who's keen on, coming in, and as a cooperative who essentially has, a bunch of people coming in. I'm in talks with the team to essentially, organize something where I can have, my 15 wallets that are filled, or 20 wallets, 13 wallets, however much. So 1 plot per wallet. If we raise 285 ETH, potentially 12.9 plots, 13 wallets, we'll get that sorted. So it's not going to be a problem for us.
Bear with me 1 second, mate. I've just got to get the next question up in line. We're getting quite a few coming through here in Telegram. Okay, so all right, the next one is what is the agreement in place with the Vanuatu government regarding citizenship, ownership of these plots and assets? Is it legally binding and unable to be terminated by the next government in power?
So the government doesn't own the land. The land is owned by the locals of the island, and the traditional, families that have been there for centuries. These guys own the island and the rights to the island. So the island is actually leased in 75-year leases from the locals. Some places around the world will you can just, buy up the island forever. And essentially, Vanuatu doesn't have much land, so they need to protect their land. So there's a deal between Satoshi Island Limited and the locals, where they have a 75-year lease on that island, and they have a right to release after that 75 years. So there's rights to release, and that just ensures money flows back to the local family that have been living there for generations, ensures they're supported. So there's rights to release it every 75 years. Now, your land can be redeemed. Your NFTs that represent the land can be redeemed for underlying land. You'll have to go to the Vanuatu Land Registry. You'll have to fill out some paperwork. You become liable for all of the fees associated, but you can take custody of your land off of Satoshi Island. They will of Satoshi Island Limited. So you can take custody of it, but you'll have to pay the fee. So Satoshi Island Predict, most people won't, because you'll have to dox yourself, you'll have to KYC, you'll have to become liable for all the taxation. It's just much easier for Satoshi Island Limited to own, to hold that land in your name, offer you ownership of that land in the way of an NFT token, which represents the ownership. That's all NFTs are, representations of ownership. And then from there, that NFT representation of ownership is claimable. You can claim the underlying land if you want the hassle of KYCing, doxing yourself and become liable for all those underlying fees, and then going to, the locals every 75 years to release, if you wanted to release, or getting your family or next of kin to release for you. So there's that option there. If that were the case. So yes, anything else there?
Yeah, mate. We've got a couple more. Just a quick, brief question in regards to does the island follow all of Vanuatu's government policies, especially if you have a Satoshi Island citizenship and a Vanuatu citizenship?
Yeah, absolutely. Vanuatu, or Satoshi Island, has to follow the rules and regulations and laws of Vanuatu, and that's why they set up in Vanuatu, because the rules and regulations associated around crypto are very friendly. This is one of the friendliest crypto jurisdictions in the world. This is the only crypto jurisdiction in the world that accepts citizenship payable in Bitcoin directly. So they're very crypto friendly. They know the power of crypto. They need to embrace crypto. And there's a lot of money in crypto. They're looking for, these tax havens. And they know, as a small country, they haven't got natural resources. They're not rich in natural resources. They're not rich in lands. They're not rich in, manufacturing or any of these things. They have to be very smart about, how they plan to monetize their economy, or plan to build economy in the future. So by becoming a tax haven, or by offering very friendly tax laws to technology hubs and technology companies who do international businesses or business, this is a way for them, and places like Tonga, like places a whole bunch of different island nations and smaller nations that don't have much power. This is a way for them to get a leg up. So, yeah.
Okay, excellent. I've got another question from Goldfish. They just want a bit of a clarification on if they purchase a SICFund membership, they'll be owning a part of the land that of SICFund purchases. Will they need to pay extra to buy the land off the SICFund management, saying if they want to retire there?
So you'll buy shares in the fund. So these SICFund shares will represent your portion of ownership over the pool of assets. So if you wanted to buy out any assets when we do liquidation events, those assets will be offered to sale to our power backers. So those are people who bought in 4.5 ETH allocation in the public sale, and they hold those 30 NFTs, and they hold the special limited edition power backer that we airdrop to them. So those power backer those power backer NFTs will only be minted to people who allocate 4.5 ETH. They won't be minted or dropped to anybody, the team, nobody, only power backers. That's the offer. One of the special ways we can add value, just something we can, a little manual process that we can do to add value back to our power backers. And we'll look to, what else we can do to add additional value to, to our power backers, whether it be in, this or different opportunities that arise. So, power backers will be looked after in that way. Everyone will be looked after, but there's people that helped us get off the grounds. We will look to see how we can offer additional utility. Yeah.
Okay, mate. We've got 3 more questions. I'm just going to close off the questions in chat. If anyone has more questions, obviously they can speak to us directly or ask them again on Friday. But we do have 3 more questions. So further down the track, will SICFund become like a body corporate who will manage these assets in a way such as Airbnb?
That's a good idea. Airbnb. So so this is up to the cooperative. The foundation will hold the assets and be any movement of the assets. So for sort of booking out or leasing properties, we'll have to develop a leasing or booking system, a calendar. Airbnb could be a really cool way to, if they integrated Satoshi Island, but no, they don't accept crypto. So we have to develop our own custom dApp. And I'm sure, Satoshi Island have got a bunch of different ways and different tools developed to help people do these things. So this is, this is all developing as, we're going, full steam ahead. So these tools, there's going to be some cool in-app tools. We'll also have to be able to do our own marketing, and do our own, leasing schedules for public and for, SICFund members, thinking, there can be a time where, we can open our properties up, and have a special, 2 weeks or a month where we can just, get everybody in, or, as many people want to book and have a SICFund rave or something on the island. So, it's something we can do. But the idea is to get, these properties booked out and leased. So we'll have to figure out an efficient means. And, we've got experiences in a big brain cooperative. So this is something we can, chat together, and we can experiment with, and we can come up, with efficient ways to ensure that we can, lease out and book out, and create, a residual income or, yield-bearing assets from our land. So that's the idea. Let's get, these assets that produce a yield, and we can pay everyone dividends from that yield, which is the idea. Let's share 90% of profits back with the cooperative. So we're all going to make it. Yeah, it's more than just a slogan. It's in our tokenomics. It's bagged in.
Excellent, thank you. Just the last two questions, mate. This one's from Neil. He goes, what is expected for ongoing financial commitment and requirements for the investors?
The requirements for the investors are to have an ETH wallet, loaded up with ETH, and that's about all the requirement you need. Smart contracts don't care who you are. They don't care what your age you are. They don't care what your skin color is. They don't care what you ate for breakfast. It just cares that, that you're a smart contract, and the contract is trustless, and it's permissionless, and it's open, and it's neutral, and anybody can come and participate. And we're open to everybody. And I'm not going to ask anybody for KYC or an anal swab or any of these sorts of things, which, I detest. So I'm not going to intrude on anyone's privacy in that respect. This is DeFi, this is cryptocurrency, and permissionless, neutral, cooperatives and DAOs, and DeFi is what we're about. We're not. I would never ask for anybody's KYC details. So to participate, you just need to get a MetaMask wallet with some ETH. Come up to sale day at 10 a.m. And buy your allocation. So
perfect. That's a shame. I was looking forward to a swab. All right. Mate, the last question comes from Zach. Is 4.5 ETH the max that we can invest on initial launch?
No, but I'd rather not incentivize people. Look, I've been planning, this, and when I set the 300 ETH target, that was 4 months ago. So, I mean, we've done these plans 4 months ago, and, things are starting to heat up, and we're getting, they're getting a lot more excitement, and we're starting to look like we might fill out our 300 ETH raise pretty quickly. So I don't want to incentivize people to buy more than the 4.5 ETH. There's a custom amount. But there's not going to be, if you buy 60 NFTs, I'm not going to give, we're not going to drop 2, Powerback NFTs. You're still only going to get one Powerback NFT. So I'd rather not incentivize it. Look, we're still in the first round. We can go harder later on. But I also want, if we're going to blow up too hard, I also want to make room for people as well. So, I want to make you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't, right? We had these plans for 4 months, and things come around, and so we could potentially, and this is up to the community, we could potentially, if we sell out really quick on Saturday, and we're really oversubscribed, like traditional funds as they do, if they're really oversubscribed, they offer an option to extend or increase the sale. Potentially we could increase it from a 300 ETH raise, a 2100 NFTs, increase it, we could double it to a 600 ETH raise, 4200 total shares of the fund, it's non-dilutive. All of that money still goes in to buy land. It just means we get more land plots to share in, essentially. It means a bit more responsibility and a bit more work to be able to coordinate development of all of the extra properties. So this is a solution. This is what I've been thinking about today in case we are really oversubscribed with our funds, because I figured a 300 ETH raise would be enough. It's essentially, you do want to sell out a little bit, you do want to be oversubscribed, but you don't want, and I don't want my OG, community who I've been doing a bunch of different other co-ops with to miss out as well. So I need to think about those guys as well. So let's see how we go on for Saturday. Sell out the 300 ETH allocation Saturday. We're still a week or so out from after the sale from Satoshi Island Land Mint. That's looking to come around the end of April. That's potentially could be leading into the start of next month, but they think they can fill all the allocations. So we'll have a little bit more time to plan after we do the initial raise. I'd rather not. I'd rather keep it at 300 ETH raise, but I'd also rather not let people miss out if we are that, it's like, this is a good opportunity. We should probably grab it with both hands while we can get, this island land, in the first stages before it gets too hard and blows up. So that's my thinking. Any more questions?
Unless anyone has questions that they want to ask via over audio, we are completed with the questions from chat. Thank you, Justin.
Awesome. Lovely. Let's open it up. Let's get some island talk going. So, is there no one else have any voice or want to add anything there? And there's got no direct message. I mean, that was fun. What I would like to do is set up some sort of group, mastermind group where we can potentially organize and build really cool things together and figure out ideas for this island development funds. Different governments ideas are different. There's going to be some challenges and some hurdles and some learning curves, and we're going to have to come to some consensus agreements. So it would be good to set up a regular chat where we can come together as a community and we can, potentially, plan or discuss ideas and build around that. So, that would be great. So I think we'll start setting up something else. But also, before everyone jumps off, there's going to be another chat on Friday, a pre-mint live stream session. So we're going to do the Friday Night Live special event, get everyone warmed up and ready for the Saturday morning 10 a.m. mint. So make sure you tune in for that Friday Night Live special, and make sure you go over and follow us on socials as well. Have a gander at our Twitter. Discord is important. Follow us on Discord, and I'll look to see if we can we'll do some more writing on some mediums so we can get some more blog posts and such out. But thanks everyone for joining in. This was great. We had a great turnout. So that's perfect. Thanks everyone. And I look forward to seeing you guys again on Friday if you want to tune in. And pre-mint, any questions? Feel free. But I think that's great. I'll see you all guys Friday, and then if not, I'll see you Saturday. Feel free to sign out or join in for an open discussion. It's up to you. The floor is open. So what I'm most keen for, though, is just to get get over there as quick as I can. I want to get something developed and get on a holiday. I haven't been out of Australia for bloody ages. My last holiday was Thailand a few years ago. I'm dying to escape. Yeah.
Are you there, Jono? Listen.
Oh, there you go. No,
just a question on my initial questions. Is there a brief on likes of the property development and covenants and things like that on the sections, rather than just a brief outline from Jamie's website? Is there something more tangible there? Or?
Yes, so you can have a look at their Discord. They've got a bunch of different articles on their Discord. But I mean, in terms of tangible, I mean, these are all ideas, in the fugazi and in the imagination. So there's nothing tangible in ideas yet. They have to be built, they have to be funded, they have to be paid for. So this is at the ground stages of early stage startup. This is early stage risky business. So yeah, if you're looking for full development, Citadel, blueprints, we have to know, the team has to know what they're dealing with. They have to know, is their idea on? Are they going to sell out? Have they got, their 10,000 ETH or whatever they need to be able to, build the base infrastructure. So once I expect things to fully get under wraps. So once the initial land, people get their hands on the initial land, they know the demand, and they can really start then people can then start putting in orders and buying these modules. And once people start putting in orders for these modules, that's really going to heat up from there. So you can a lot of the information you can find from having a bit of a chat to the team, the Satoshi Island. That as for these grand blueprints, it's not quite there yet. We're still at that early stage. We're not quite transitioned to infrastructure development stage. It's just stage one, sort of. So, any rebuttal to that? Does that answer your question?
No, I understand it's early stages, but being an island and being where it is, that would be pivotal to an investment from my point of view. Just having those things ticked off, or having the opportunity to input too, which is quite cool, potentially.
Yeah. So, you'll be able to go on and, have your, they're going to have a whole app and marketplace where, you'll connect your wallet, it will read your citizenship, and you'll be able to go on and vote on, internal islands, proposals and governance issues, and create, proposals of your own, essentially. So it's a democratic society. The masses are going to win, depending on what the masses want, what's best for the masses. So we go with the flow, go with what the masses want. And I think, we'll be right. Everyone's sort of self-serving. They want what's best for the, So everyone will want what's best for the island. So I think we'll be fine. Anyone else have any questions as well, or do you have any rebuttal to that? Or Dave, are you all right? Sweet.
Welcome, Glenn.
Yeah, I can hear you. Perfect.
Yeah, mate. Just a quick question. You mentioned how creative we get with some of the builds we do. Is there any approval processes through the island in terms of what we're coming up with? I'm just sort of thinking some of the different potential for different commercial opportunities there.
Commercial opportunities is a big one. And, we'll be in chats. There's a couple of property developers amongst us as well who are, really keen to get, their hands on the master plan and get their hands on, the master blueprint, so we can go ahead and we can work close with Satoshi Island and see what their, development ideas, and, we can work with the flow going, see what they want to build, see what they need, and work with the flow with them from there. So, there will be, depending on how grand or how fancy you want to get, it will need signing off. They will have, engineers on site that can sign off on builds and these sorts of things. So, it's up to the imagination how crazy you can go. But there's also, I think if we start going above 3 or 4 stories high in places that aren't protected by the wind, because there's some areas that are more protected than others, it might start to get a bit, over that 3-4 story high mark in certain areas. But potentially, and I guess it all depends on how, the base, on how big the base is, and then you could potentially go up in so you can potentially come up with some really cool grand ideas. You'll just need to get the local structural engineers on site to, give that tick of approval, and they will.
I can jump in there and just give you a little bit of information just regards to the other modules. For this south wing, currently, our max height is 3 modules high. I do not have the actual height of the modules handy, but obviously they're roughly about 1 story high. And that's just for the south wing. There is talk about these other sell-offs later on down the track where you'll be able to build them higher from that. But obviously with this south wing being right on the beach, and it is and sort of behind that to the north, it does go up a cliff. They're going to try and keep it to 3 modules high at the moment.
Yeah, I see. All right, perfect. All right, so and you can fit 9 modules on a block, 9 standard modules on a block. There's potentially, if you can get a couple of blocks, you could potentially build something really cool. So there's a lot of different ideas, and we can create proposals and discuss what's going to be the best risk to reward, what's going to be the most profitable. Do we do apartments or duplexes, or office space, or is furnishing all of that office space going to be increase our risk and not be the reward that we're looking for? Are we better off just to offer business professionals and tourists medium or short, medium, long-term accommodation on with doing some nice apartments or serviced apartments? So that's something for us to chat about. It's ideally, let's see where our island, where our plots end up, and where we get distributed. From there, we can plan which plot where. Like if we get something that's right on the beach, we potentially do something a bit more grand there, or a grand home or something, and do something a bit more medium tier on the average sort of plots. But we can propose, and come together and we also have to remember, like, it's all good to come together and propose these grand ideas, but we also have to pay for it. Like, let's think about, how we're going to pay for it. Do we sell half of the assets, the worst half? Like if we buy 13 plots or so, do we sell the worst 6 to fund the best, or 6 or 7 to fund the best 5 or 6? Do we do a second round non-dilutive raise and expand the funds, and increase additional shares in a non-dilutive way, meaning that we value the assets under management, and we look at our current share price and issue additional shares that are aligned with our current valuations? So we can look at that. It would just be a matter of figuring out what to build, where, and how to pay for it. We can go from there, figure out a budget, and then we're away.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think there's a lot of variables that come with the plots that we receive. I mean, you look at things like up to even your neighbours as to the decisions you make for that specific plot, and that's something that we all need to just be on top of. And just as long as we keep communicating with you guys, it's sure we're going to be able to come up with the best way possible to move forward with those plots. And I mean, there's nothing stopping us, say down the track, if all of a sudden something happens and we need to make changes, that can be done. It's not a matter of, this one's definitely got to be the one that we're going to lease out to families for their holidays. It's not impossible to make changes, and it's definitely something that we'll keep on top of and keep communicating with you guys with what we believe and is the best way to go forward.
Perfect. Yeah, no, that's great. And I had a thought there, but then it's gone now. So anyone else have anything to add? This is great. Not yet. All right. So all right. I guess that's where we've gone for a good, what was it, 7? It's almost 8:15. So that was a good hour and 15 minutes, and it flew. I think that was great. It's my things. I think I finished. Oh wait, no, my recording is still going too. It didn't even finish when I bummed out there halfway through. So that's perfect. All right, what I'll do is I'll upload this to the group, and we'll save it so other people can come and watch. And I really appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll go again on Friday. Get ready for the Saturday Mint. And any more questions that you guys have, let's drop it to me in the group chat, or get them ready for Friday, and we can crack at it again. It's all systems blazing, ready for the Saturday Mint event. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate you all tuning in, and see you in the chat. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
Cheers.